Although I will say the gay thing, who gives a shit? But the gay marriage thing or this transgender bathroom thing has been a real fuck up, hasn't it?
Well, the only problem I personally have with this whole gay thing and this transgender thing and whatever,
yeah,
if you're not of the same belief, you're automatically labeled a hater or some kind of a phobia person, whatever. But if your moral conviction says, you know what, I don't believe in gay marriage, I don't believe in homosexuality, I don't believe in transgender, that's just not how I choose to live my life. You can do it if you want to, go right ahead.
Right.
But that doesn't make me a hater. And that stupid guy over there in New York, the mayor over there,
Bloomberg.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, stay away from Chick-fil-A. They're haters. They're haters.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're just a conservative group. We're not haters. But it's always immediately if you have something that opposes your view, it's not because you have an opposing view. It's because you're a hater and you're a something phobe, a xenophobe and a homophobe and a bigot and a racist and a this. You can't have an opposing view without it being around something hateful.
That's why anymore you just have to not care. We get called things me, I get called things all the fucking time. And I just don't care. I always acknowledge it. How many times have you seen me on stupid Facebook where I'll say it in front of it? I'll say, here, get yourself ready. Hater, bigot.
Yeah, exactly.
Racist, whatever. And I'll say all that first, and then I'll say my opinion. So I save them the time of calling me that.
Sure. And you know my attitude. I don't give a shit. What are you going to do to me?
I don't care. Say whatever you're going to say. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll legally do what legally I have to do. As far as all this stuff is done but like the tranny bathrooms and all that shit, I'm not doing that. Like with my business, I'm not doing that. Not until it's a law.
Right.
And when it becomes a law, then I'll have my own standard of bathrooms.
Sure.
Fucking cock and pussy.
Right.
And that's what it'll say on the door. Cock and pussy.
Right.
If you got a cock, you can go in here. You got a pussy, you can go in here. I don't care if it's manufactured or store or purchased from God. That's going to be the rules.
Well, it's gotta absolutely drive the lefties and the Democrats crazy that this black sheriff, says that the race card is now overused. That everybody's a racist.
Everybody, yeah. So it has zero meaning.
Yeah, so he says Hillary Clinton and her allies have been throwing out the race card when it comes to Donald Trump and his supporters. A move Sheriff David Clark bills as classic case of the pot calling the kettle black.
Right.
Which is an interesting term for a black guy.
I find that to be a racist.
That's racist.
It's very racist. Who reported this? Fox News?
It was.
Fox News.
It was Fox News Insider.
What?
Yes.
Racist news?
Racist news.
Jeez, oh man, who is this? Raceless file?
Right. Asked in an interview on Wednesday whether she believes Trump is a racist, Clinton replied, "I'm going to let the people judge for themselves." That sounds like a Fox News line. We report, you decide.
That's right. Yeah, pal.
I think she's slowly creeping over.
Here we go.
The next day, Rob Reiner of, Meathead.
This fucking guy.
A filmmaker and Clinton supporter who weighed in, arguing that Trump's rise has been fueled by a lot of people who are racist in this country. So are you telling me that the reason Trump polls so well and has won so many primaries because the only people voting or casting a ballot for him are racists?
That's exactly why.
That's a lot of racists.
A lot of white guys.
Millions of racists.
All white guys.
All white guys.
Yeah.
Milwaukee County Sheriff Clark reacted on Fox and Friends weekend saying the word gets overused. It hardly has any meaning anymore. You're a racist. I'm a racist. Everybody's a racist, he said.
Yeah.
Sheriff Clark pointed out that Clinton should perhaps look at her own background, including the history of her party and her past receipt of an award honoring the founder of the Planned Parenthood. She embraces that award. She embraces the support of an organization that kills more black babies than any other race, he said.
What?
That's what he said.
That's terrible. Only white babies are allowed to be killed.
Right. Her party has a history of racism, so I'm not going to sit up here and be lectured by Mrs. Bill Clinton. Look at that. He relegates her to a second position. Right. Mrs. Bill Clinton. About who is a racist and who is not a racist.
Right.
So that coming from a black sheriff of all people, that has just got to get under their skin.
Sure it does.
Uncle Tom!
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he's called, too.
Uncle Tom!
Mm-hmm. Well, dude, you have not been out of the country, right?
Not in Europe, no.
When you go out of the country, everybody is racist by the American term.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is trying to intermingle. You know, you go to England or something. I can assure you that the English citizens, the white Anglo-Saxon English citizens, which is the bulk of them over there, are not trying to integrate with the Muslims. That is why you have all those Muslim
bombings.
Well, not only that, but what do they call those things?
Oh, yeah, they're cells.
They're zones.
Yeah, they're zones
where they don't allow
the no-go zone.
Yeah, the no-go zones. They have that going on. There is no intermingling with anywhere but here. But here we're supposed. And dude, here's where I get in trouble. I'm a believer, and I do believe this. I'm not just saying it for shock value. I am a believer that every person, animal, creature on this planet is inherently racist by genetics.
I believe that.
If you put 100 people in a room and you go 20 are black, 20 are white, 20 are Hispanic, 20 are American Indian, and 20 are whatever else you want to pick. I don't know. What else? What am I missing?
Indians.
You put those together and you make them stay in a room for 24 hours. Do you not think that the majority that you're going to end up with 5 pods of people?
I would agree. Yeah, they will all seek their own level.
Yeah, you will not find one intermingled collective. You will find 5 smaller collectives at different spots in the room, and it will be 95%. 95% will be of each individual race, and that's the same in the animal kingdom too. There's a reason that you don't have fucking ostriches running around with fucking leopards.
Well, that's why periodically you see those feel-good stories pop up. Look at how this goat adopted this puppy.
Yeah.
Because it goes against nature.
Yeah, most times that puppy will grow up and eat that fucking goat.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it works. That's how.
Look at how this dog, this pregnant dog, or this mother dog mothered this homeless kitten.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, but people just want to pretend that that's not real,
right?
And that's all that's all any of this nonsense is. It's all pretend world.
Sure.
You know, just like the fucking transgender. I identify as a woman. Shut the fuck up.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story of nature.
All right, go ahead.
I know we're all over the place here.
It's all right.
But and this goes to the point that you're making.
Okay.
All right. My dad is a real nature lover.
Okay.
He's kept bees for 40 years.
Wow, bees.
Bees. He's harvested honey for years.
Does he still do it?
Yeah, he does it on a very limited basis. But there was at one time he had probably 100 beehives.
Wow, so that's probably what, like 1 million bees?
No, it's 1 million per hive.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so, you know.
I'm thinking a hive is like like the size of a football. I'm assuming these are bigger.
Well, this is, yeah, when you got a strong, thriving hive, having 1 million bees in there is not out of the question.
Dude, I don't know anything about bees.
Why, of course you don't. This is why I'm giving you the story.
Okay.
And anyway, at the height of his beekeeping, he would harvest this honey, and extract this honey, and it wasn't out of the question for a spring and fall season, which is the 2 seasons of honey because of the foliage. In spring you get the flowers, and then the fall you get like goldenrod, the fall flowers. those are the biggest harvest times for bees.
Okay.
And it would not be out of the realm of possibility to harvest 4 tons of honey a year.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how much honey he was extracting at points.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So we're talking 8,000 pounds of honey.
Wow.
All right. But now he does it on a limited basis because, he's 80, 85, 86 years old now. And, but he still gets out there. And the other thing he really loves is birds. His biggest passion in the bird community is bluebirds. He loves bluebirds.
Okay.
And he's a very handy guy, and he builds bluebird houses, and he puts them, he understands the territorialism of bluebirds.
Okay.
And you have to space these houses out so many hundreds of feet because bluebirds are very territorial and so on and so forth. But anyway, long story short.
All right.
One bird that he does not like is a sparrow.
Okay.
And a sparrow is about the size of a bluebird. Okay. Now, if you're not aware of how bird houses are made with different size holes in them, so the bird can get in and out.
Sure.
So all the bird holes are designed for a certain size bird.
Right.
And the design of the house attracts a certain type of bird, whether it be a bluebird or I don't know,
blackbird or whatever.
Well, blackbirds don't stay in houses, but more or less the fancier type birds that require like some kind of a nesting area.
Okay.
But anyway, long story short, these sparrows are mean birds. They're mean.
Okay.
They're the thugs of the bird community.
Hey! Birdist.
Yeah. So what they do, these sparrows, they come from Germany originally.
Okay.
Okay. And these sparrows are indigenous to Germany, and they're kind of a tough bird. They're just a tough bird, and they got very sharp beaks, and they're just mean, and they're predator birds is what they are. Right. Well, these bluebirds, they're just, very, very nice looking birds, and they eat a lot of bugs, and, they're just good for the environment.
Okay.
So what happens is my dad will keep an eye on his bluebird houses, because what these sparrows will do is they'll go in and they'll raid a bluebird house. And if the bluebird is in there, maybe nesting on eggs or something, that sparrow will go in there and peck that bluebird to death.
Jesus.
And then it'll eat the eggs and it'll rip the nest out of there.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just a raider is what it is.
Right.
Well, my dad doesn't like to see these sparrows get into these bluebirds, and so he's either sits out there with his 22, or he'll put a mouse trap inside of a bluebird house that's been taken over by a sparrow.
Okay.
And he'll catch the bird with a mouse trap.
Kill it with the
kill it. Right. So anyway, he was telling me the history of birds, and this is to the point of the diversification. Mm-hmm. Some artsy fartsy guy decided that he wanted to show the world diversity.
Okay.
So over in New York, he put on this display where he had all these birds from all over the world shipped into New York City.
Okay.
And that included, the sparrows, that included birds from other parts of the world, domestic birds. He had all these birds shipped in, and he basically put all these birds into one big bird sanctuary type thing to show that all these birds could live in harmony. Right. So basically he was trying to make this statement that birds represented the people from the area that they came from, and they can all live together.
Okay.
So it was sort of like this, I'm going to teach the world a thing or two, that if birds from different parts of the world and countries can flock and live together in one area, so can we as people. Well, when his display was over or whatever,
right,
they didn't know what to do with the birds.
Okay.
So they took them out to Central Park and they cut them loose.
Oh, and they got just destroyed.
Yeah. And what happened was the birds, like the sparrows and stuff, they just started, multiplying.
Right.
and just started spreading all over the country and destroying the ecosystem here in places where they don't belong.
Jeez, oh man.
So this is a lesson in captivity. They can live together fine.
Right.
But you let them out in the world and they'll go out there and tear the place apart.
Right.
Which we as humans, there's certain people in this country that you put them in a place where they can start raiding and killing and pillaging and destroying. They will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's because it's nature.
Exactly. So that's how a lot of these foreign birds got into this country.
Right.
By this one guy who brought them here, and then he turned them all loose in Central Park. And some of them thrived and some of them didn't.
Sounds like Obama with his refugees.
Exactly.
Sorry, was that a racist comment?
Well, that's the story. That's the story behind that. And I was pretty amazed because he's always reading these kind of stories and telling us, and he goes, "Goddamn sparrows." You know, I got a sparrow in my house out there. Tore up that nest, killed that nice couple.
Yeah, pal.
Thug. I'm going to go out there and eradicate them.
Yeah, pal.
So there's a nature story for you.
Yeah. And you kept the story short. That was good.
Yeah. I tried. I wanted to give you a little backstory as to where I was going here, but the point of the matter is, getting back to your point about people living in pods or, separating among their own.
Right.
That diversity is something you can't force on people.
Right.
And that's where we've been for the last 8 or 10 years is diversity, acceptance and diversity. But in reality, as you stated, I think by nature, we're just naturally drawn to our own.
Right.
Period.
I agree.
So there's your opening segment.
Yeah. Had very little to do with any music, but okay, that's good.
Serena, the sparrow equals Nazi bird. All right. So there you are.
Perfect.
All right. Did we have somebody calling in tonight, or because you asked me about that rat bastard?
No, he's not calling in tonight. I just wanted to make sure you had it.
Oh, okay. I do have it. Well, I think we should take a short break.
All right.
Steve Theotto and
Keith
Pickens have joined forces now that from the demise of American Dog.
Right.
Now, how is it that Keith can be a part of this, but he couldn't be a part of American Dog at points?
Well, if I had to guess, I would say maybe there was some bad blood between Michael and Keith.
Oh, well, I thought it was. I thought it was due to domestic issues within the Pickens resident that was causing the problem. But
we heard that from Michael, didn't we?
I thought so.
Oh, maybe that was the excuse Michael put out.
Well, he went away and then he came back.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because he left the band a couple of times.
Yeah, he did. But I heard that that was due to a Chris Aiken situation.
Maybe he dumped the baggage and now he's allowed to play music again.
That could be as well.
That could be the deal.
True. Well, Steve Theotto and Keith Pickens, formerly of American Dog, have a new band called the Rat Bastard Syndicate.
Yes.
We better not allow Steven to know that.
Yes. Well, Stephen Theotto can know.
Right.
That's it. No, not the other Stephen.
Yeah, Stephen. Oh, God, that's great. Piercy.
Well, maybe Stephen Piercy will go out as Stephen Piercy's Rat Bastard Syndicate.
Could be.
Bobby's showing him the way.
Sure.
Maybe that's what has to happen.
Right. But anyway, they have a few new songs out there.
Okay.
And I thought maybe I'd play one.
All right.
So what should I play?
I don't know the names of the songs.
We got Rollover, Lights Out, Vanishing Point, Rat Bastard, or Crank It Up.
I will go with number 2. How's that?
Lights Out?
Lights Out.
Okay. Well, this is something new from the guys from Columbus, Ohio, Rat Bastard Syndicate. And, this features former American Dog guys. So let's check some of this stuff out. This one is called Lights Out, exclusively here
On your classic metal show.